either.
No.
No, I don't, not in 6,
Well,
no.
either. And I don't either, and so it seems to be enough. I just had like a question for to make sure we had enough for when vendors came in, or,
Yeah.
if we needed more zip spots, to roll over on the other side, the clubhouse spaces, because some of them are only needed for events. But in general, I don't have any owners ever complaining, or renters, or anybody that's saying, oh, your parking's always an issue, but I mean, I've had.
You keep breaking up, Robin, but
Yeah, no,
we get the
Robin.
gist.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
And the issue really is overnight.
Yeah,
It really is only overnight, because during the day, the vendors come in, whatever, they can park in any of the unmarked spots, or if they're
Yeah.
doing work in that.
Yeah, plenty of people are going at work.
Yeah, it's just the overnight visitors, and, yeah, and the only thing I'm hearing is people not understanding where they're supposed to park, and that's because the owner's not explaining properly, even though we've told them repeatedly,
yeah,
so. Mhm.
yeah, it's nonstop that we have to keep, saying it. So are we saying now that for now, we're just gonna leave it as is, and we could always have somebody come in and, give us an idea of if, where we could expand, if we
Well-
wanted to?
Well, even though that person is not in the room, you do have a board member who requested 3 additional visitor spots. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna deny it, I think you should actually take a vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
adding 3 more spots.
so are we gonna say no to adding 3 more spots this year?
I mean, we can't add them, but we should think about it.
Done, Robin?
I don't think we should. I think we should reevaluate from now.
On an annual basis.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's vote. Those, in
Can-
favor of adding,
Can I make a comment?
sure.
I would suggest, because at the beginning you had mentioned that it's cluster 5 that wants extra spots.
Mhm.
Along the fence is very correct. There's very seldom few people who park there. I would make a shift. I would take 1 or 2 spots from along the fence here going out and shift it over to 59. Keep the balance the same, just move the spots. Because, correct, there's more visitor parking spaces over here than there is over there. I would just make the balance shift.
You've got, over by cluster 5, you've got 5. You've got, 2 in cluster 4, so that's 7, 9 in cluster 3. So if you look at that half, there's 9 visitor parking spots. In this side, you have 13 visitor parking spots in total over here, with it being around the clubhouse, because that's where we have the bulk of the visitors coming in. Does there really need to be that many visitor parking spots? Do we have a huge volume of visitors?
I have heard that there's not enough visitor spots, but only, once or twice.
Coming from cluster 5 or other areas?
Oh, I don't know, I didn't pay
I
attention.
know.
Occasionally.
Mhm.
I've actually had to complain for cluster 1 too.
Okay, even though they've got right here.
It might have been before.
But this is, I mean, I know it's lazy, but
Yeah.
this is right here when somebody could live on the other side of
I know.
cluster 1.
Um,
So we're gonna deny adding them, but why doesn't the board just look at moving them?
yeah.
Moving some, maybe reconfiguring where they're at, but you're right, we have just enough spots for the amount of vehicles registered, so.
All right, so again, we're going back to the vote. So those in favor of adding the 3 parking spots? Okay. Those opposed? Con?
I.
Aye.
Yep. All right, so we're not going to add 3 parking spots, but we can look at moving,
Reallocating.
reallocating, just based on what's being used versus not. Okay, write that down. All right. Okay, new business. Cluster 4 pest issue. That's not me.
Well, when I put it on there, I put it on for Dawn so we could discuss. Nature Zone recommended for the issue, the building that was having the issue with pest, to have all the units sprayed at the same time, which would require advance notice to the owners, make sure we have keys, go in if they're not there type thing, and spray them all at once. But since the second spray at the problem unit, I literally today, for the first time, got someone report that they saw one. And guess which unit it was, Todd?
Don't even need to, I can pretty much figure it
Yeah.
out now.
But other than that, I haven't had any issues. So I don't even know if we even need to discuss this tonight, or if it's something you want to put off, or...
And I think, given some of the other information that you and I have talked about, I think we can, I think we can table it and see if it stays this way, and let's be honest, the tenant's out next month, hopefully.
Yeah.
They will be.
Hopefully. You gonna drag them out?
The sheriff, doesn't the sheriff do that? If you're getting evict, I don't know how it works.
Yes, the sheriff does, but we have to file the eviction in court. We're not there yet. We're in negotiation with our attorney at this time. So,
All right, so we're tabling until they're out, essentially?
no,
Or-
if the issue comes up, I would say again, right, Dawn? Like, if it becomes a problem. Because I don't think one roach constitutes a problem, considering it was a daily 7-unit phone call. You know what I mean?
All right.
Well, you're over
All right, so next one up is consideration of tree trimming for storm season.
Yeah, cluster, and I brought this one up, cluster 2 has got, the 2 clusters of very tall pines, plus we have 2 very large trees. We cannot do removal at this point in time, but I do think that we need to get somebody else to take a look at doing some good trimming in preparation for hurricane season. We know the one tree, and I have no idea what kind of tree it is, that is behind Megan's unit, has been trimmed in the past and still managed to lose branches during storms and do roof damage. So we want to try to avoid that if we can. So I think we need to look at finding out, and getting a good trim on both of those really big trees.
Well, without knowing what you wanted this on here for, I
Yeah.
just randomly did some research, but in 2025, several of the clusters spent somewhere between 1,000 and 1,400 each, having trees trimmed. Which trees? I didn't pull all the invoices
Yeah.
to see which or what or who and where. But in general, if you want to talk about tree trimming or something like that, just shoot me an email, let me get you some bids, and we'll put
Yeah.
that on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, or just say, I want to discuss it, and we'll put it
Yeah.
as a discussion. I had consideration only because I thought you were ready to do something.
Oh.
So, either way, but I don't know, I can't even give you a roundabout, because I
Yeah.
don't know what each cluster did. I know that the tree trimming, Dawn and Robin, I think, did it. They trimmed what they could within what they budgeted. I don't know if they went and trimmed all the trees. I
Yeah.
will say that any trees that overhang the roof are ants and termites.
Yeah.
And rodents and rats.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and because we just had to do massive trimming for the tenting, we don't have anything currently overhanging the roofs, but we still have those that are close enough to the building that, that if, something happens, they can still do damage to the building. So I wanna, I wanna get those, at least those 2 trees, those 2 big trees, find out what a good hurricane prep trimming would look like.
Yeah, I can say, Jerry, I had a black olive tree that we actually had to remove that was, almost partially uprooted from the hurricanes. And that was like $1,800. I know Robin had some trees she can speak to how much it was. But the trimming itself, like, we've had Jesus do the, if we can, you know, if you can swing it in your budget.
Yeah.
Okay, but they charge so much per foot. There's another company that I was going to look into. I can get you that information too, Fiona. So you can have an estimate of what it would cost, but they go according to how high the palms are or how high the tree is.
I've got palms, but I'm not as concerned about the palms as I am about the black olive, the one by Megan's, I don't know what kind of tree that is, and those two clusters of huge pines.
Are you looking like your black olive, do you want it out or do you just want it trimmed?
I don't think we have it in the budget to even think about removing it this year. I think,
So just trimmed.
I think we, but if we can get a good hurricane prep trim on it, to try and do it, what we can within our budget to mitigate any kind of potential damage.
Right.
Do you wanna
If you
move?
want, I can look into that number and see, and then give you, send it to Janet and to you, and then you guys can go from there.
Okay, that sounds
Me
good.
too, actually, yeah, me too, please, Fiona.
Okay.
Because, yeah, the one in 6 needs to be done again.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll look into that for you guys.
Can I say something?
Anybody else on the board have anything about it, the trees?
Well, me,
Okay.
but I'm not on the board, but
What?
I'm always mouthing off.
Wow.
We were gonna talk about the, the special assessment next.
Yeah.
And I only say because of what Robin and Dawn just said, the tree removal for those 2 trees, the highest one was 3,025. And so Robin had 1 tree removed for 1,800, right? So
Yeah,
I think that's a really good price. It doesn't trim the other 2, because you mentioned 4 trees.
The black olive and the one that's over by Megan's and then the
This
two.
is why I wanted to say something, because we're all confused, I think.
We're not confused, and we know all about your trees.
No, I was.
We got it.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah, but this was, because we got estimates on those 2 last time Susan brought it up,
yeah.
The pine trees.
to completely remove them.
Okay,
Those ones scare me.
See, yeah.
okay, alright, so tabling trees for the moment until we get some more information and moving on to the special assessment then? Or,
We roll it into the special
Okay, but
assessment.
Can I ask a question about my tree? In that email that you sent me about the $900 to remove the tree from Jesus, is that the tree that's right there? I don't even know which tree that was. Do you know?
I didn't ask for any estimates unless you told me to. What tree did you tell me to ask for an estimate?
I
for?
didn't.
Oh, did you?
Here,
No.
unless you sent it to the wrong person, but that's. There's something about brush also.
This was about sprinklers, this wasn't about.
Yes, it was about brush and somebody taking it upon herself to clean up the yard and falling and breaking things.
It's
on
that,
purpose.
it's the secret.
Is that the one that's right
in the
here?
corner. Yep,
Okay.
that's the one. And so he recommended removing it.
That was their response to your question.
Right, but I didn't know which tree we were talking
No, that's the one.
Oh.
Because I didn't
I
say
don't
so.
know. I was
It
just
is-
the answer
it
to the
is
question.
this
It
one.
must have been interfering with the, with whatever you inquired about.
Well, what he
Dirty
said
tree.
is that he recommends removing the tree because it has become an ongoing maintenance issue. Even
With the
after the
irrigation.
leaves are cleaned up, the wind tends to blow down water very shortly afterward, making it difficult to keep the area clear.
It was because you sent that thing that
And the branches are.
they
touching
didn't
the
blow
roots.
it, and when they did blow it, they didn't pick it up. They
Yeah.
left it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he said he recommends taking that tree out. So that's whatever tree, whatever
Yeah,
area you
it's
were
the
talking
secret
about,
one
that's
right
the one.
here. I
But if
think
it's healthy,
That's probably just healthy. Very healthy and it drops its leaves
like all year,
all. Oh, yeah, all year, all year.
about. Messy tree.
It is very messy.
Yeah.
very, cause there's another one over by the carport, I
Yeah.
see right one.
Well,
And that one drops the leaves
yeah.
all the time
But
too.
see, that's not a bad price for that either.
To remove that, no, that's very little compared.
But he might, ask Terry, he might be leaving a stump.
Yeah, we know he does that.
he's a stumper.
You just gotta tell him that you want the stump grinded, cause my black olive and the other one, he grinded both of them.
How much did it cost you?
It was in the price, 1,800 with the stump grinded down.
We just need Robin to communicate everything to Jesus with authority, because clearly she's got a repertoire with
He's
him.
scared of Robin.
He is, he probably just like, sees Robin call and is like, oh no, what am I gonna be doing now? So,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
before,
I'm not very happy with the shrub removal with a stump this high up, and I just shouldn't, no. I can understand trees, you would charge more for the tree to remove, to grow the stump, but not if you're asking to remove
not a
bush.
hibiscus.
Yeah.
alright,
Okay, before we go on, can I say?
yeah,
something?
oh, sure.
Okay, so there's the palm trees, which is totally separate, which is that time of year because of hurricane. So that's hurricane prep. And then we talked about, which Janet was doing, we talked about, and she got estimates for my tree and the 2 pine trees. And then I sat down with Jerry, which she didn't realize about that part. And I had explained about EJ cutting Megan's tree 2 times and then even it falling another time and Jesus cutting it. So then she added Megan's tree. I don't know if we really need to do Megan's tree again. So that's where now we
The
got.
reason I'm adding Megan's tree is because that tree is close to the building, I mean, it's
Right.
in
Does
that,
it
it's
overhang?
in, it's not, right now, nothing's overhanging
Yeah.
because of the
That's what it-
termite
Right.
fencing. But it is, it's right there, right
It's right
next
there, but I
to
don't, I mean,
building.
that's the thing, you have to think of it, but I'm just saying it's not, because it's not very big. But, I mean, it goes to, it's up to you, you're the director, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But I'm just saying that it's been cut. You know, so my personal opinion, that's my personal opinion. So we're in a couple of different issues, but, I know Janet has the estimates.
Yeah.
Because I even met with one of the people, it was, I think, Save a Tree or something like that. And he was talking about that you can't just trim the pines. You have to take them down because otherwise they shoot more or something, he was telling me. So that was the one person that I met, because I opened the gate for him and he came in. So I don't know if we really even want to spend the money to do that, if that's the case, if we can't take it down. I don't know, you could find out if you're gonna
Yeah.
see somebody,
Yeah,
you know, because we have to take from the professional.
yeah,
Can I say one more thing about the palm trees? Just like cluster 1, we need to make sure that they're not trimming or cutting the palms that are self-pruning. They're hacking the if it's Jesus does it, they're hacking the palm trees that are self-pruning. And they have to be told not to do that. Cluster 1 tells them not to do that.
I don't even know which ones are self-pruning.
Usually Carol tells them, because Nancy would tell Carol to go out and tell them.
Maybe we should get that documented. I mean, do any, like Robin, Dawn, Fiona, do you know which palms in your clusters are self-pruning?
No, I have no idea.
Usually you see the branches fall. Those are the ones that the branches fall off of.
Or take 5 weeks to fall off? Okay, we'll work on that with Jesus and make sure that we know. What?
No, go ahead.
So we know which ones are self-pruning and make sure he knows. Robin, we'll ask you to communicate that since he,
Ones with the long.
very clearly listens to you, if you don't mind.
I couldn't even identify
No, I don't
what kind
mind.
of tree it was.
I wonder if like we can
I
tag
really
them or
hang
something
long.
when I'm down there and put like a ribbon around it or something, so he knows. But he should know. That's
Yeah, he
should.
Yeah, he should know.
Like, he should know which ones are and aren't, so
Yeah, well,
we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to tag them.
I mean, he might, but the other workers might not know either, you know?
Yeah, well,
Because he's not always on site,
yeah, we know, unfortunately.
so.
Alright,
While we're on this subject of Jesus, I spoke with him the other day because I had,
You cut
you're
out.
breaking up again.
on and they were just doing an evaluation of what, I don't know why my phone. I said, speaking of Jesus, I was speaking to him the other day, regarding the lawn, and Westfall came out and was doing an evaluation on my lawn, and they said that, sprinklers, they went through my whole complex and said there was a number of sprinkler heads that were broken, so I addressed it with the office of Jesus through email, or whatever her name is, I don't know. But anyway, she got back to me and Jesus went out and looked and he said he checked and there are heads that were damaged. He said he did check cluster 4 and he was doing cluster 1 maybe, I don't know, another cluster. But if you guys want, I will convey to him to please check all the clusters and fix the heads that are broken.
Yeah, he
Which he
does.
should be doing without being told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to be doing that monthly?
That's what I thought
Checking
too.
sprinkler heads?
Well, he did send me a text, last week saying that maybe 2 weeks ago, that there was 2 broken and he fixed them.
Good, well, that's good,
Yeah.
because he said there was a couple of mine too.
Yeah,
So,
and he did fix them, yeah,
Yeah, well, that's good to know, Fiona.
yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny that you already talked to him, because West Falls just sent me today the issue about your lawn and some areas not getting coverage to notify the landscaper. So I sent it over to Asia and Jesus, but apparently they already knew about it, because West Falls just told me today.
What's
Yeah,
that
because
for?
I got an email from Westfall, which I don't understand why I got it right away, but, yeah, it was during the week, they came on Monday. And I think I got it, well, last week they
That's
came,
great.
and I think I got it on Wednesday.
That's
So,
great.
that
Because
was
I'd
weird
asked
that
her.
it was delayed to you.
Yeah, I have, West Falls does another property of mine, so I had to ask her, could you please identify what you're talking about? Because I didn't know what she meant, and she said, she didn't say Pebble Springs, but she said cluster 3, so obviously I could figure it out, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So, but, if you guys want, speaking with Jesus, I will make sure he checks the other clusters for sprinkler.
Yeah.
It's-
And he should be
It's not
checking,
gonna hurt to remind him.
he needs to also be checking the master to make sure that those are working. Cause I don't know.
Correct, yep.
So, yeah. We appreciate you,
Okay.
being the Jesus communicator for us. Alright.
I just gotta learn Spanish and I'll be all set.
There you go.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Here's my new earbuds.
Robin,
Yes?
can you ask him his schedule that he does that so we know?
Sure.
Like, does
When
he
he,
does he do
when
that?
he's gonna be checking the sprinklers or when his
Yeah.
schedule is to mow? Which one, Susan?
The sprinklers, so we know, what's his schedule on checking that? Like,
Okay.
so we can kind of put him on the spot a little bit, like weekly, monthly?
I think it's supposed to be monthly that he
Monthly.
checks. He checks the
Monthly,
sprinkler
okay.
heads, but, we know that that's not really what's happening.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I will definitely ask that too, Susan. Good point.
Alright, so anything else about the tree trimming and storm season stuff before we move on to cluster 2 special assessment? Nope, alright, cluster 2 special assessment.
Right? I'm not trying to be.
Yes, I can reach it.
Okay, I was trying to whisper, I wasn't trying to be rude.
And I don't even have to stand on my tiptoes.
Okay, I'll get it for you.
Alright, so Jerry, this one's you.
Yeah. So we had put in the 2026 budget that we were going to be assessing, $82,000. Some of that was for the termite tenting, some of that was for the termite repair, or for the gutter repairs rather, and then, some of that was to, recover some of the reserves that we had to spend in 2025 for that massive, stack pipe issue that ended up under the road too. And we had agreed that that would not begin until after the tenting was done, because we didn't wanna be having people having to pay for the assessment and trying to pay for trying to find somewhere else to live during the tenting. So now that the tenting is complete, we need to, are we leaving that assessment as it was budgeted? And going ahead and putting that assessment in?
Okay,
And
it was budgeted in the operating or the reserves?
under operating,
We did it under, let me look at the budget, cause I didn't bring that one.
yeah,
Sorry.
I did.
I completely forgot we put it there, so we did put it all
Yeah,
under operating, okay.
mhm.
So, in order to do all the things that we expensed, we did 82,000 in
Mhm.
operating.
Mhm.
On your budget, there's an expense line. Hang on, for the, 2024 loss, right? Did we show that as some of it?
Yeah, you did, I remember from the budget.
Okay, well, that was what we, I'm not seeing that on here. Because what, so the 2025, so that is, so we had, alright, so, and again, I came in like at the tail end of all of this. But my understanding, was that, that massive stack pipe repair, that ended up coming out of the reserves, which is why we did not have a special assessment in 2025 for that, repair, was because that came out of our reserves. Which was why we did the special assessment number that we did, which was putting money back into the reserves that we had to take out, or at least putting some of that back in that we'd have to take out.
Here. How much was it?
Cause looking at my, looking at the December expense, sheet, or financial sheet, the, only, shortage that we're showing is basically the shortage for the attorney's fees.
Yeah, which we did discuss in that 82, I know we talked about that, right?
I don't remember just that discussion.
We did. Let me look at your budget again, see if I see that line item, because what I was trying to do was, we did this when we didn't have the December actual,
Right.
and now we do, so that's what I was trying to see.
Yeah.
Minister, store, spent 83 there. So it says that we needed, by the end of the year, you had the gutters in there, the termite cleaning in there, so that was all part of it, so.
Yeah.
Ooh. Provision of office.
If we can bring those gutters in lower than that, then that puts that much more into the.
Yeah, but if you wanna get the special assessment going, we'll have to approve it for a certain amount, because I have a feeling, this is my gut. So the difference between this one and the leaf filters was
Mhm.
2,000. So
Mhm.
assuming they come back and say, it's good the way it is, do it. you could hire them, we didn't vote on which company,
Right.
but you could approve it for the hire, because I have a feeling with your cluster, we're gonna go to replace some of those gutters, and there's gonna be rotten wood behind it, they can't attach, we're gonna need to do some repairs. So I mean, we already know this from recent patient soffit stuff, so. So,
Janet, with my notes that I have from when we were talking back in October for cluster two, at that time, they were like $10,500 in arrears as of the end of September. $41,750 for the tenting and approximately $26,000 for the gutters. And that's where the number came from.
no, that doesn't equal 82.
Yeah, and then,
That was, they were expecting to be 20,000 with the attorney fees by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it was only 10.5 at the end of September, we still had 3 more months. So it was the 20,000 in arrears, the 26,000 for gutters, it's even more than that, but,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where, those are my notes that I had, just wanted to share.
Yeah, well, we don't have to take that 26, the 23 is fine, like I said, even if you get it at the 21, I think it's gonna be a little higher anyway from the wood.
yeah.
But the landscape prep for the hurricane was
Oh, I know.
3,170 with the irrigation. So the total there is 68,000. If you wanna add those tree removals, I don't know if you still have those, that was Echo Pro was 3,025 and Savitri was 2,871. That was to remove both of those trees that were leaning. That won't trim the other two, the black olive and the one by Megan's, but that was the
That
cost.
got rid of the two pines, the two
The
clusters
two
of pines.
pines, yeah. So those weren't bad, but I remember we discussed them back when Dawn and Laura had the cluster 2 meeting, that
Oh, yeah,
cost
yeah.
was in there, for sure. I was trying to think, so you ended the year, December, 52,000 in the negative, where we had anticipated, like Dawn said, when we did the budget, we anticipated you being 20 in the negative, I'm sorry, you ended up 52 in the positive. My problem is, because of your bank balance and all, Dawn, I didn't bring my laptop with me. Do you know what we ended cluster 2 2024 with? Because some of that monies I thought was to make up for the loss. Some of it was hurricane. See, all of the hurricane damages that we spent that monies in 2024, everything that was categorized to 6723, all of that was collected in 2025 when we did the special assessment. So even though the December financial looks like you ended the year 59,000 in the positive, you didn't, because it was owed to the 2024 damages.
Right.
They didn't happen until the very end of the year. I think one storm was the end of September and one was the first week of October. They were only like
Yeah,
9 days
Milton was
apart or
early
something,
October.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm afraid to lower the 82,000.
Oh, I'm not thinking about lowering the 82,000,
Oh.
I'm saying, you know, that's what we had talked about, that's what we had told the cluster that was gonna be happening.
Okay. So that's 2,411.76 per unit.
Yeah,
So you tell me, how and when do you want to?
well, what we had talked about and what we had told them, the cluster, was that, you know, once the tenting was done and that we were giving them the option of paying it all at once, or they could split it up and pay it within 6 months. Which would be $400 a month for the, you know, and a little bit change for the 6 months. If we're gonna get that all collected before the end of the year, then we need to go ahead and start that assessment.
All right, so here's the thing that's gonna create the issue, and I'll tell you, this is just beyond a you and me, and Dawn could help, thing. I can't do another who paid in full, who paid monthly. So what we'll have to do is split this into, if you're gonna allow 6 months, if you wanna do that, we'll do 6 months. And that's how it'll get charged on everybody's ledger, but if anybody
Yeah,
wants to
and
pay it
for
up front,
Hannah,
there's
this,
no
and then
interest
it's,
fee or
yeah.
anything like that, right? And then we'll just put it on per month.
Yeah,
That may cause an issue with some people who are trying to get help from insurance or outside entities to pay it. I can't send them a ledger with the full charge on it. But we can send them the paperwork and the notices and everything, so.
Yeah.
So, I have a question about this, because obviously you have units that are in arrears. And this $2,400 and change assessment comes out. What is the plan for the handful that has never paid one of these assessments? Like, what is gonna be the process? I mean, do we have one? Because we don't need your deficit to grow, because you've got these delinquencies in your cluster. So I worry about that for your ability to get this stuff done.
well, and that was another part of the discussion that we had when I came on in the first place, because we knew that this was going to have to happen. And that was also another part of the reason why we built in some extra to make sure that the termite tenting and the gutters were paid.
Right.
So according to Dawn, December 2024, your cluster had $1,214.70 in your bank account.
No, Dawn, if you have that in front of you, the actual column from the income expense operating at the very bottom, the actual column, which is 1, 2, 3, the fourth one over, for cluster 2.
Stand by. Closed it. Save it. Alright. You got it, hold on. Yeah, you want it 2024, okay. You want the P&L. Operating P&L, right, Janet?
Well, we call it an income expense, but yeah, I think it's the same as the P and L in
Yeah,
your
it is.
fancy
Sorry.
accounting.
And you want, what number do you want?
Cluster 2's actual at the bottom.
Yep. Your actual expenses for the year?
The profit or loss, or the,
Yeah,
net.
it's $58,880, but it's, yeah, what was actually income based on that in 1994? Or, I'm sorry,
I was gonna say
2024.
2024.
Dear Lord, I was gonna say, what financial do you have?
Where'd you find them?
There's no way.
I've been looking at numbers since 6:30 this morning, so.
Are you sure it's not in parentheses or something? Because there's no way cluster 2 was $60,000 ahead of the
They had
game
to assess
at the
it.
end of the hurricane year.
Yeah, we know they had an assessment.
Well, you have assessment revenue, other revenue.
You can stop looking, because you know what, as Jerry said, we had considered all that, and she's not talking, I thought, when you started this conversation, I thought you were talking about changing that 82,000.
No,
If
I'm
you're
talking
not-
about, let's get this started, we need to get this started, if we're gonna collect it by the end of the year.
Yeah. So don't worry about it, Dawn.
Just for the record too, the budgeted expenses were 308 and they came in at 255,000. So there's a $52,000 under budget for total expenses for cluster 2 in 2024. Which is very strange.
Exactly. Are you sure we didn't amend?
It has a prior year expense that, well, you had a budget of $80,000 for a prior year expense and it was zero.
Let's talk about it and look at it tomorrow, because I'll pull it
Yeah,
up and
okay.
look at, and see
Yep,
what we collected.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so whatever you wanna do.
Yeah.
So as soon as, so June,
2 weeks away.
if you adopt it at the June meeting, I don't know what date that is. if I have my I do have a calendar with me, I just don't have my laptop with me. If you adopt it at the June meeting and make it due July 1st,
And they would collect most of it, but minus 1 month.
June
before they're
16th.
there.
Yep, June 16th.
yeah. Well, no, July 1st, that would be 6 months. July, August, September, October, November, December.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's okay. And I could get it right, I could get it in the mail now so
Yes.
people know about it.
Yep.
We would officially adopt it on the 16th.
Yeah,
Robin's doing one at that meeting also. The only issue is doing that, like, well, I guess I could order the coupons in advance, but, it's due on the 1st, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's only 2 weeks away. But I could get them ordered if we're not gonna change the amount.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would never talk about changing the amount, it's like, we're gonna be fencing's done, let's get this going, cause it's what we're gonna do.
So, I'm gonna put it for no later than next week to have that, emailed out.
Yeah,
PSC board, wait, I'm gonna write this emailing. 'Cause, Robin, you wanna adopt yours at the next meeting too, right? The vote and the special assessment if the vote passes.
To vote for what?
The heater and the electric? Didn't you tell me to, at last meeting you said put it in the.
We decided